Who speaks first? It doesn't matter. You want to talk first? I will tell it in Spanish. Tienes que decir tu nombre y si eres el abuelo de la Sidney Croucher.
Ya.
Tú hablas primero.
¿En inglés o en español?
En inglés. En inglés.
My name is Filiberto Rojas. I am from Chile, South America. And I am Sidney Croucher grandfather.
My name is Edith Rojas. I am the grandma. Of course, I'm from Chile too. We have 4 daughters, and Marcy is our second daughter, and she was born in a small town in north of Chile called Chuquicamata, and she was born in July 29, 1972. Philly was a school teacher. He worked for a while as a principal in a high school in Chuquicamata, and he was working as the teacher and another part-time job in construction. And then we moved back to Antofagasta, and Marcy went to a school in Colegio San Jose. Antofagasta is a private school. And then in 1977, we decided to emigrate to United States.
Normally, you have here an immigrant. They are running from a political reason or some kind of refugee. That was not our case. We just heard outside the United States that this one was the land of the opportunities. So we tried to see how was that, and decided to come in here for about 3 or 4 years to check it out. So we applied for an immigration visa. We got it. We get it approved, and I came with all my family, with my wife and my 4 daughters, and arrived in September 14, 1977, in Los Angeles port.
Was it easy to get your visa back then?
At that time, yeah, it was so easy. We got it in 3 months. It was a little bit hard for the language because English was hard for us. So. But later on, it was getting easy and easy and easy. We started working, and that was excellent for us.
I am Marcy Croucher Williams, and I am the daughter of Phil and Edith Rojas, and also the mother of Sidney Croucher. I have 2 kids. Sidney is 21, and I have a son who is 18. I came to United States when I had just turned 5 years old. So the only thing I really remember of Chile, we lived in a small town playing at the beach. So I just don't have full memory of everything, just bits and pieces of when I was 4 years old. My parents instantly, within that week, enrolled me in school, and so they put me in kindergarten, and I didn't understand what anybody was saying or what we were doing. I just remember feeling alone, like I never wanted to go. And then my next remembrance is 1st grade, and if I recall, I had Mr. Cass. He was a good teacher in the sense that he would take the time to work with me and help me with my English. Really, I didn't begin to learn my normal everyday learning until really about 2nd or 3rd grade. By then, I was just learning my ABCs and learning how to write. So being in 2nd and 3rd grade and just now starting to learn those things, I always felt behind in school. Until this day, and I'm 44 years old, I feel like I'm still behind. And at home, I would speak Spanish to my parents, and then I'd speak English in my day job, so there was always the back and forth. The kids I didn't teach him much Spanish, and a lot was because I didn't know too much of Spanish. I mean, I knew how to hold a conversation, but I don't know how to read it very well, and I don't know how to write it. When I was younger, back then, it was an embarrassment to have, to be bicultural, to be different, because, our society is all about fitting in, and the hardest part is always feeling behind in, whether it was in life, in school. I struggled because of that, and I still struggle because of that. I lose my confidence when it comes to writing papers or writing a letter to somebody. I would probably do it again at the same time that we came, because I really do think it makes a difference the younger you are to come here.
I want to make some connections from their stories to what we learned in our course. So first thing I definitely want to talk about is the term assimilation, because I feel that this is something that both my grandparents and my mother experienced in transitioning to the United States, but more so my mother. I think that my grandparents kind of kept to themselves, and they were able to keep to themselves in their own home in the United States. But my mother, on the other hand, she was kind of forced into the school system and pushed to form to the dominant culture. Even though the United States accepted my mother's family to come to the United States, they didn't necessarily accept her culture in the school. She was forced to learn English right away and not to speak Spanish. So I think that's a very great example of a term that we learned, assimilation. Going along with this point as well, it definitely shows how important it is to have a bilingual education if you are learning English as your second language here in the United States. My mom kind of talks about how she doesn't feel comfortable writing and reading in Spanish, and that's because when the time that she was supposed to be learning reading and writing, they just skipped over her Spanish and just pushed her to learn reading and writing in English, when she really would be able to use or needs those skills to be able to read in both Spanish and English. Parent involvement isn't something that we really talked about over the videos and the interviews in the videos, but it is something that I kind of touched on in my narrative part A, and she just kind of explained how her parents weren't necessarily involved in schooling, so they weren't really parents as like leaders, because they weren't any coaches or they weren't really volunteering in school. A lot of it was because they were working a lot. So they were mostly just parents as parents. We all just have different experiences with parent involvement, and it just shows that, and you don't necessarily need to be every kind of parent. You don't need to be a parent as a learner, you don't need to be a parent as a leader, but you definitely need to be a couple of them, because she still has a very great relationship with her parents and things like that, even though they weren't extremely involved in her schooling necessarily. Lastly, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about her favorite teacher, Mr. Cass. It is kind of unfortunate that this is really the only teacher she does remember, and a lot of it, I believe, is because he really tapped into her funds of knowledge. He really took the time to get to know her individually and took time out of his day or out of classroom time to stop and make sure she was caught up and make sure she was understanding, because a lot of her other teachers didn't take that time to do that, which is how she got so behind. So it just shows that taking a little extra time can make you become that teacher that people remember for a lifetime. And then as far as for my implications for my future teaching, this story about my mother and about this whole transition is definitely one of the biggest reasons of why I do want to be a teacher, because I want to be a teacher that my mom really needed and she never had. I know there's tons of little Marcelas out there, kids starting school who aren't fluent in English and need that Mr. Cass or need that extra support, need to make sure there's no assimilation happening, that their language and their culture is accepted in the classroom, that they're able to develop their language skills and communication skills in both their first language and also their second language at the same time, because there's a ton of benefits to that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.